All right. So let's do introductions. I think there are some people here that maybe aren't here all the time. That's really brought in some different people, which is exciting. So I guess I'll
Yeah.
start since I'm here. I'm Dawn Fiala. I've been with ASN for about 3 years. I have come with a strong background in home care, in the trenches of home care. I love all of it. It's very hard. And I know, Lisa, I'm going to steal your line, Lisa. It's hard to stay in your lane. In home care, you get involved in all the pieces. It's just everything overlaps, it seems like. So I think my favorite part has been in the sales and marketing side of it and growing the private pay side of the business. Welcome. Thank you for being here today. Annette, you're next on my little window here.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hi, everybody. My name's Annette Ziegler, and I've been with ASN over a year. I have 20 plus years home care experience, home marketing experience. Just like Don said, we've done it all, and I loved it all. And I teach the sales training classes here at ASN, and I really enjoy. I see a lot of people that are in my classes now. So welcome, everybody.
Yeah, I see a lot of people, I
Yeah.
think, am I next or is Valerie next?
Whatever you want. Is there
Go
an
ahead, Lisa.
I'm Lisa Marcellet. Hi. Gosh, a little over 2 years now, and it seems like I've been here for a really long time, but 2 years isn't that long. But I've been in home care forever as well. I love all the pieces of home care. I'm going to steal back my line. And in home care, it's hard to stay in your own lane. You just kind of help and do all the things. You wear all the hats, and I love that. And I love being a part of it with you guys, but on this side. So thanks for letting me be a part of it. I love being here as always.
Great. Oh, Valerie, you're up.
Oh, I'm not. You can. It's okay.
No, go. You weren't on my window. I just opened it up and there you were.
Is there another slide that has all of us on it, or is it not?
I
I
guess
think
it's
it's the next
not
one.
here. Nope, I think it's
Oh.
hit.
Oh no.
Oh, hey, what's that?
I
Hey,
don't know.
we have a commercial. I'm Valerie Van Boeven. I am a registered nurse and the founder, originally and the co-owner of Approved Senior Network. And my experience is, I tell people I'm 200 years old in nurse years. It's like dog years. Once you are a nurse, you age quickly in the brain. So having said that, all these ladies are amazing at what they do, and they are the experts in home care sales and marketing in person and a lot of other things. I like the digital part of marketing. That's my jam. And I'm glad you all are here, and I'm glad you're a part of Approved Senior Network. And that's it.
Okay, so today it is Ask ASN Anything. So all of us are here to answer your questions. We'll probably bounce around a lot for who's going to answer which questions because we all have different specialties. Valerie's here too. She can help with all the online. So if you've got some online questions, that's good as well. And then we have some questions already that were submitted. So we're going to get to those first, and then we'll have a live Q&A. If you want to put your question in the chat, it looks like there's a question there already. And so go ahead and you can start throwing some questions in there. We'll go through the ones that were submitted first. Some of those might be questions you have as well. So we thought it would be good to have a starting point. So we'll go ahead and get started. After that, Lisa will go, we'll have a live Q&A, and then Lisa will go through the leave behinds for July, August, September, and October. So we've got a new month here. So are we doing the free giveaway too?
Yes, we are.
Yep.
Okay, before the questions, there is one question there. I want to make sure we don't miss it. But at some point during this meeting, if you would like to be entered into a drawing to get a free month of leave behinds, we put your logo, your colors, your contact information on there, and then we email them to you. They're editable, so you're able to change them up if you want to, but we get them all ready for you. If you want to do that and you're willing to send us pictures of how you use the leave behind, please type yes in the chat. And then we will keep track of questions and the yeses, and then we will do the drawing and let you know if you won. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Oh, we do have an announcement though. This is exciting stuff. If you live in Florida, or if you happen to be in Florida next week, Valerie and I have been invited again by the Home Care to go to Home Care Con. It's their 36th annual conference. We will be presenting 2 days this time. Last time we spoke at pre-con. We are speaking for 3 hours. Holy cow. That last time too. Actually, it flew by, didn't it, Valerie? I couldn't believe how fast.
We ran out of time and we had 3 hours.
They didn't want us to go. They kept going, oh, let them keep going, let them talk. And then main con, we're talking for an hour. So we're talking about building your brand. The whole exhibit is like outer space. And so that's why the play on words. So your brand's orbit in the home care galaxy, that's the 3-hour presentation. And then the hour presentation is on sales training and the impact of tailored training for your salesperson, your marketer. So if you happen to be in the area next week, come and see us. We'll see you in person. So that's happening next week. All right,
awesome.
it is time for questions, and I will go ahead and list them here. So the first question, I feel like this was a hard one right out the gate, but we kept it slide 1, so here we go. How can I encourage our team to be more open to new marketing ideas? Each person on staff has a different opinion on how things should be done, whether in-person marketing or online marketing. They're not interested in the concept of leave behind ideas or participating in small networking meetings. Any recommendations? We even have a question because we want you guys, you get the slides, so the answers are also going to be listed. So we talked about this as a group, and we came up with referrals are based on trust and brand recall. And while the leave behinds are a little cheesy and quirky and funny and all of that, they do help with brand recall. They help build trust, and they help to change your relationship with that referral source. They see lots and lots of agencies. When you do get in front of a referral source, especially in the skilled nursing facilities, a lot of times there's a wall behind them with 50 home care agency brochures, right? Or a table with all the brochures. So they're talking to many agencies. You have to stand out. There has to be something. So that's why the leave behinds are so important. You're going back every 8 to 10 days. You're reminding them. So the power of the leave behinds, it reinforces your visit. It changes your relationship. It keeps you front of mind. Sometimes, hopefully you have a great relationship and they're thinking about you anyway. But I know even for myself, when I would go on vacation for a week and I would come back, that next week would be so slow. I was gone 1 week and I had great relationships. It's that front of mind. It's so important. It also sets your agency apart from other agencies. It gives them something tangible to look at when they're ready to make a referral. And it helps them recall your agency quickly during discharge planning. A lot of times they're just like, oh, Lisa, what company is she with? Wait a minute, what was that again? And they're digging for the brochure maybe, but if Lisa's coming every 8 to 10 days, there's bound to be something near her desk, on her desk from Lisa, so they can get to her quickly. So Lisa and Annette, jump in. You have anything to add? Valerie, you too? This is all marketing stuff.
Yeah,
I would just say, especially if they have the cell phone, that's the best thing.
yes. Yeah,
They
and I
can
just,
text them.
everything you said, Dawn, you want to be different, and you can't, they have tons of brochures. Everywhere you go into these social work offices, hospitals, you see the 20 brochure racks. Leaving these cute little things and leave behinds and leaving something tangible for them and standing out, I think definitely does make a difference for them to remember you.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then they also asked about networking events. So networking is the action or process of interacting with others to exchange information and develop professional and social contacts. So people are going to refer to people they know, people they like, people they trust. Trust is everything in this industry. Discharge planners, case managers, senior serving professionals want to refer to people they personally feel connected to. So the one thing networking events don't do, like I didn't spend a ton of time doing those. I found maybe 2 a month that I felt were had the most ROI for me. And those were the 2 that I went to. You could spend every day of your life at a networking event. I'm not saying that's what you should be doing. You should be going though, because it helps you understand the industry. It helps you understand your competitors because they're all going to be there. The discharge planners aren't typically at these events unless it's hosted at a skilled nursing facility. So again, you have to really think about, where am I getting the biggest bang for my buck? What the networking events do though is they create face-to-face familiarity. You meet other reps from home care agencies, hospice, you get to tour the communities. It allows you to show your genuine passion for helping seniors. Like, people need to see you out there and about to understand that you're a part of this community. But you're going to see more people like yourself, or hospice reps, or home health reps. It's not going to be those social workers typically that are out there, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't go. I'm just saying you don't need to spend your entire life at these things. It can open the door for future one-on-one connections. So I found several home health agencies that we would refer back and forth. I networked with a few hospice agencies that we referred back and forth. And I was able to get up and talk about my agency. You get that 10-minute spiel too, to be able to stand up for 5 minutes and just give an introduction. You need to be seen out there as someone in the industry. And that's another piece of the networking. So the referrals don't always happen at the event, but they've happened after you've made that personal impression. And sometimes I'd meet a hospice rep and they're like, I meet all these people from home care, but you really do seem like you're passionate about it. So then we would have this relationship from that point moving forward. So that's what anything to add, guys?
No,
Just that I would use that too if you're stepping into a new market, which I've done in the past. So to learn who everyone is really, and to learn what groups you need to be a part of, it's a great way to get in there. So that's what I use them for too.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
All right. As a new home care marketer, what should be my first priority? This is such a great question. So in our sales training, we deep dive into this. We're just going to do a little snippet today, but you do need to start identifying and mapping out your referral sources. This website here is a great place to go to look for anybody, any company that's getting paid by Medicare will be here. It's the Medicare.gov website, and you can go in and you can look at nursing homes, rehabs, hospitals, all in your area. You just put in your zip code and click on it, and it'll pull up all of the skilled nursing facilities, nursing homes in my area. I can go in a little bit further and I can find out lots of information about them, their rating, how many beds they have, how are they paid. This one's Medicare and Medicaid. If it's a straight Medicare building, you're going to get a lot more private pay out of there instead of one that's straight Medicaid. There's a lot of information in here. You can also look up home health, hospice. You want to connect yourself with companies that are doing well, so you can look them up as well and see what their rating is like. If you're going to be marketing together, you want to attach yourself to someone, a good company, right? So this has always been a great source for me to look at that. You want to get your whole, like, where are you going, your route sheet put together. All of that's going to be really important. These are the top places to go. Hospitals, of course, would be up here. They're just very difficult to get into, and they have a whole vetting process now. But skilled nursing facilities, rehabs, independent living, assisted living, and memory care, those are the places, top places that I would go. That's not to say you can't get referrals from senior centers, adult daycare. There's other places, but this is where I would start. Discharge planners, case managers, and social workers in referral source organizations, elder law attorneys, fiduciaries, placement agents, senior centers. Create a spreadsheet with the names, facilities, contact persons, and master your message. You need an elevator speech. You need a 30-second that rolls off your tongue. It just needs to roll off your tongue. Of course, it changes based on who your audience is, right? If you're going to talk to skilled nursing, that elevator speech is going to be a little bit different than if you're talking to an elder law attorney. Master, that's going to be really important that you master that and you're able to let that just roll off your tongue. You should also have a CRM, keeping track of all of these things. We have a great CRM here at our company that we use and many of our clients use as well. So this is how I would start. You've got to figure out where you're going, and then what is your message to each different type of referral source. You need help with that, we have a sales training class, and Annette does an awesome job. This is week 1, right, Annette? The tiny piece of week 1.
It sure is.
Yeah. Anything to add, ladies?
Yeah, I'd like to add too that once you've discovered all these places that you might want to add to your route, you could even go a step further and then add those into LinkedIn in the search, and maybe look for people that might work at that facility as well, or that community. Just type into the search, the city, the name of the community, and then maybe like social worker, for example. And hopefully if those people have added themselves to, that on their LinkedIn, it's going to pop up, and at least you could have maybe an intro. I'm not saying do this and not go out, because you really want to go out and meet them, but this is a way to get to know them first, maybe know what they look like. You might have walked past them before and not even known it. It's a great way to try to connect as well.
Agreed. That's true. And if you haven't done this yet and you're not new, you got to do this. I know sometimes it's just, I'm just going to go everywhere I can go. And there's different ways to go out and do that business development or marketing. You can just, if you think of a farmer, just throw seeds everywhere and just hope for the best. Wow, you will get a little things popping up here and there. But when you go at it like a farmer and you're watering and you're adding vitamins and fertilizing and you keep going back, that's when you're going to get the return on investment. That's when you're going to get those referrals. You need to be strategic about it. So this is a great starting point. But if you haven't done this yet, I would highly recommend you do. How can I get more Google reviews? How do I ask the client that gave us rave verbal reviews to give us a Google review? And then what is the benefit of having a lot of Google reviews? So to ask for a review, it's all about timing. You want to ask for that review after a successful shift or after a glowing phone call or a follow-up call from a happy client or an adult child. So we're so glad you're happy. Would you be open to sharing your experience in a quick Google review? So you can email them the link to your Google business profile. That's the easiest way to do it. Don't leave it up to them to go hunt and look for it. Email it to them, text it to them, that, and then mention it that it's going to help them help other families. If they love you so much and you're doing such a great job, it'll help them. If they do a review, it'll help other families that are out there that are looking for a good company. And I would say timing is the most important. We used to have a thing because it was like, in home care, after the 2-week mark, something's bound to go wrong. It's just the way it is. Caregiver's going to call out, caregiver's going to no-show, something, client services doesn't return the phone call for 3 days. I don't know. It just seems like at the 2-week mark, there's going to be something, not drastic, but just something. So we would always say, get that review before the 2 weeks hits. Get it like right after the first shift. Get it before anything go sideways. So it's just something to think about. I don't know. Annette and Lisa, you guys have that kind of thing at where you work?
I'm going to say, I definitely agree. And I have to say, like, when I worked at my home care agency for 7.5, they had 2 Google reviews. It's a job getting Google reviews. It's not that easy. Sometimes it worked out well. I would pull my phone out and, hey, you want to leave us one right now? You can send the link. You really have to, as soon as they give you that glowing review, see what you can do to get it. But sometimes it's hard, but I would have referral sources. I'd be like, I'll leave you a review. If you leave us a review, you don't always have to have clients or caregivers. It can be a referral source. It can be a social worker. I do want to add that Tess did add in the notes that people have to have a Gmail or Google account to leave a Google review. Yeah, Tess, that is true. If they don't have a Google account, a Gmail, they can't leave a Google review. But so unfortunately, that they're not able to leave you one if they don't have that account.
Right.
Yeah. The caregiver too the caregiver too, or like a client care person can help them create one. That's what I would encourage to do. A lot of the times it's going to be about how happy they are with the caregiver anyway. So the caregiver is going to be super happy to get them to say that. So they can definitely help with that. Yeah.
Yeah, we've done that to help them just create a Gmail quickly if they really want to do it. Because I've had them, I want them to know how good Mary is. I really want them to know. I'm like, okay, let's set up a Gmail. It doesn't take that long. I'll help you set it up real quick. So you have to sit there with them and help them get through it. But
that sweet spot is like that. That 1 to 2 weeks, because anything can go haywire.
Yes.
After you've perfected it for them, just make sure that you get that review.
So the benefit.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, it doesn't stop there. A lot of the time when you ask for a review, people are doing things, right? They're busy. And so you've got to ask them probably a couple more times. So we do have an automated system that does that. It goes back and asks the person to come back, and because a lot of the time you ask for a review, I don't know what I'm going to say yet. I've got to think about it. So I might have clicked on the link, but I need to come back. So it's really good to have kind of a chase to that and ask them again if you don't have some sort of automated system.
Yeah, that's a good point. So the benefits of having Google reviews, obviously, the obvious benefit is it builds trust with families searching for care. They are reading those reviews. I have to say, you have a 4.8 star. I was glad to see just a couple that weren't perfect. I know you're real. They do read through all of them. It acts as a digital word of mouth referral. It improves local SEO and search rankings. I wasn't aware of that till recently, but that in of itself is a big deal. It increases visibility on Google Maps and near me searches. It helps your agency stand out from competitors. It reinforces your credibility and professionalism, and it encourages more inquiries for potential clients. So It's really where it's at. And if you are one of our clients and you're in our home care sales and marketing program, you get reviews, you get to be part of our review program, please do it. And if you need help with that, get with Lisa because it is automated and it does
Yeah.
remind them 3 times, I think, to leave a review. So
Yep. It
yes, so
does.
please take advantage of that if you're in that program.
Yeah.
Another question. Oh, go ahead, Lisa.
I was going to say just one more
Yeah.
point to that is that it really does matter that you reply to those reviews
Yes.
and thank the person for taking
Good
the
or
time out
bad.
of their very busy day to say something nice about you. It really does make a difference. You got to think that a lot of the time in a search, that your very first impression, the first place that people might see you sometimes is that Google business page. Taking care of that is really important.
Yeah, good or bad reviews. You have to reply to
Yes.
both. Yeah. All right. What is a good framework to follow up for building more hours for current clients? How can you come across as an expert and not seem too pushy? We seem to struggle with getting more hours from current clients. And this is a big deal. This can increase your revenue by a lot. And these are people that are already happy with you. So this is an excellent question. So you want to position your agency as a trusted expert, not a pushy salesperson. While increasing your client hours, you need a clear framework that combines relationship building, assessment, and education, caregiver, and educate your caregivers what to look out for when clients' needs are increasing. So how do you do it? So reassessing regularly, implement scheduled care assessments monthly or quarterly to revisit each client's condition and identify emerging needs. We had people in the field that would go do, at least every 30-day visits. It was called a supervisory visit because they're also checking on the caregiver, and they were usually a surprise. We wanted to see if the caregiver was dressed appropriately. We wanted to make sure the house was clean. So we let the client know when we signed them up that this would be happening, but we didn't let anybody know the day of because we wanted it to be a surprise visit. But that supervisory visit, they're also reassessing the client. You need to take a look and see what's going on. Are they better? Are they worse? Do they need more? Talk to the caregiver privately as well to find out, especially if somebody discharges from skilled nursing or a hospital. It could be a totally different situation now that they're home. And absolutely, somebody should come out and reassess them when they discharge. We have had times when we didn't do that because the adult child, oh, mom's fine. No, she's fine. Like it's exactly the same. Nothing's changed. She's fine. And we've trusted that. And then the caregiver gets in there and the caregiver, she is not fine. this is nothing the same. No, she can't live on 3 hours a day anymore. No. So if there's been a hospital or SNF stay, somebody's got to go in and reassess when service starts up again. Look for gaps. Are there missed medications, nutrition issues, safety risks in the home, memory concerns, declined mobility? Are we doing overnights 5 days a week and two days a week we don't, or doing overnights every other night? And when the caregiver comes in the next day, when there was an overnight, the place is a shambles. Or the overnight caregivers that are with this person, the 3 nights a week that they have overnight, saying, how is she getting by the other nights? So it's going to be really important that the caregivers are watching also, especially if we're not doing day-to-day care and the caregiver's noticing things that aren't good, or when they're with them, they're so needy. How are they getting by when we're not here? Talk to family members about what they are seeing and what additional help they may think they need as well. Training your caregivers are going to be the biggest piece of this, I think. Training them to identify and report needs. Caregivers are the agency's eyes and ears. Encourage them to document any signs of deterioration, confusion, loneliness, safety issues, and report to the office immediately. If you can make this an easy way for them to do this, I know in Sky there was a way at the end of the shift, do you have any concerns? And then they would type in their concerns. The problem we had with that is that it would just be in the profile, it wouldn't alert anybody. So we had to create a report that would be sent from those messages because it was like they were reporting it, but nobody was seeing it for a while. So make sure if they are reporting it at the end of their shift that it goes somewhere, that somebody sees that right away so that we can take action. So if a caregiver notices the client is skipping meals, this could be a reason to add meal preparation or grocery assistance. So I would say 1, have somebody going out there doing supervisory visit, and 2, train your caregivers to alert you. Anything to add, guys?
I would just say that we did all this in our agency. These are your clients. There's opportunity to get more hours, and you're not going in there just saying, hey, we want to do it 24/7. You're seeing that their needs are increasing. Maybe you're there Monday through Friday and not on the weekends. So I think it's important. It's a great opportunity for you to get more hours but you have to regularly do regular check-ins and make sure your caregivers are reporting to the office anything that they see where they might need more services.
Yep. And a
Yeah,
lot of
definitely.
clients like to see a supervisor come out. They like
Sure.
that someone else is coming to check in on them too.
Yep. I was one of the people that was in charge of that CIC or change in condition in Well Sky for us. So I would look for those, I would go in and look for them daily to make sure they were clear. And to help route my day too, who do I need to go in and visit? And we call them pop-ins, visit, reassess. What type of change is there? And then go from there. Just hang out to watch
Yep.
because it doesn't
Yep.
always just surface. You got to snoop around a little.
Yep. And that was a big thing for training the supervisors was that you got to dig in. You can't just come into the living room and plop and sit on the couch and have a little conversation. Like you need to go check out the bathroom, look at everything when you're in there.
Yeah. I've uncovered so much. Sometimes I'm like, God, I almost wish I hadn't because then it leads to a road of just a whole bunch of stuff.
You uncover a can of worms sometimes.
Yes,
like that.
exactly.
Yep.
It's a lot of work.
Okay, when I post online job ads for caregivers, I receive many initial responses. However, most applicants lose interest once they learn the positions aren't for immediate hire, as I'm currently building a pool of qualified candidates in preparation for new clients. As a new agency owner, how can I effectively communicate this in a way that keeps caregivers motivated to complete the application and interview process, even if work isn't available right away? Yeah, this is a hard one because those caregivers want to get to work. It's a tough one.
Yeah.
So simple ad language. So join our caregiving team, get first access to future shifts. So if you do this in the ad, it can help set the stage. And the other thing is many caregivers work for several agencies to get their hours. They're not typically working just at one home care agent, at least in my experience. I guess Lisa, and I don't know if you agree with that.
I do. Yeah. They work everywhere.
They do. And so, if they can get into your pool of caregivers, when your floodgates start to open, you'll be able to get them jobs. So letting them know that too. Some caregivers don't know that they may need to work at a couple of different, obviously we don't want them working anywhere but with us, but they need to pay their rent, right? We have to be realistic about this. Set expectations honestly and clearly. Use transparent but positive language during interviews. We are in growth mode. While we do not have shifts available today, we are interviewing, so we're ready the minute a new potential client calls. Stay in touch regularly. Don't let that relationship go cold. Send a light, consistent follow-up. Excited to have you on the team. We just signed up a new client. We'll be calling soon. So keeping them in the loop is going to be really important. And that relationship can go cold quickly. I would say you need to at least reach out to them at least once a week. If you want to do that via text, a lot of them like to text. They're better with texting. But don't let that relationship go cold for sure. And I just think you have to be transparent and honest with them. We're new. We're building, and because you're here now and you stay with me, you'll get the first shift that comes on board, the first client. Yep. All right. How do you feel about referrals from A Place for Mom, caring.com, and agingcare.com? So these are leads that you pay for. Probably all of you are familiar with them already. You pay $50, $80, $100 a lead. Some of them have contracts that are, you have to be with us a month. Like they all have different things going on. Some of them I've heard take a percentage of the signed client for a little bit. There's all different ways that these work. The downside of these leads is that they're giving this lead to 5, 6, maybe 10 other companies. I don't know how many. It seems like a lot usually, but I've been pretty successful with some of them in getting them to turn into clients. So the benefit is you have immediate lead volume. It delivers families who are actively looking for care. So it helps newer agencies build that pipeline faster. The challenge is you are 1 to 5 to 7 agencies receiving the same referral. Speed matters. You have to be fast about this. You need to be the first company to call them. If it's Sunday, 4 p.m., they just put this in. So call them. Just don't wait till Monday. I'll get to it later. You paid for this lead. The company paid for the lead. Act on it immediately. The thing that I found to work the most for me is acting on it immediately and responding in 3 forms of communication. I call. If they don't answer, I leave a voicemail, I email, and I text. And while that may seem as annoying, they will usually respond to the text. That's what I have found 9 times. I'm in a meeting. I'm so glad you texted me. Can I call you in a half an hour? That's what I get typically. That's typically the answer that I get. So call if you don't get them live, voicemail, email, text. So important. I think that's a big piece of it. In your email, voicemail, text, you have to get them to see you as an expert in home care and trust. You have to build trust. So you need to leave that kind of message. Usually you get a mom fell and broke her hip. You get a mom just moved here from Minnesota. She's going to need help now. I can't do all of it. You know the story usually. So add to that. When people fall and break their hips, it can be so challenging. I've helped others in this situation. You're building trust and you're letting them know you're an expert. So speed, expert in this, trust, and 3 modes of communication if you have to, if you don't reach them live. Some are motivated and ready, while others, so there's a variable lead quality. I have found that most of them are looking for care now when it's a lead like this versus other types of stuff that comes in. But there are some that are just browsing and price shopping. So many families don't fully understand the cost of home care. So they're just trying to gather like what that looks like. Leads cost can range between $50 and $100 per lead, depending on the platform. Not always ideal for agencies with limiting marketing budgets. Do you guys have anything to add?
The only thing I would add is it's true, you have to answer them quickly. Sometimes we would get leads that they were out of our scope. They were really not for us. And we didn't want to have to pay for that lead because they sent us something that we weren't capable of helping them with. So you can send them back to them and retract them and send it back to the place for mom and say, this lead really wasn't for us. And sometimes they'll credit you. So I just want to throw that out there.
That's good. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really
Yeah.
good.
Every once in a while, if it's like a super random, just got through somehow, that, yeah, I experienced that same thing. If they were doing like a Place for Mom Aging Care was doing like the warm call transfer for a little while. I remember when they started that. I don't know if they're still doing that.
I can
Uh,
tell you that, I can tell you
Go ahead.
caring.com does that. You probably have to pay for it, but I'm copied on some of our clients' leads from these, and they email you the lead with a summary of what their needs are and call them right away or whatever. So yes,
Yeah.
some of them do that. Probably costs extra.
Yeah, aging care, when we did that way back, this was probably 3 or 4 years ago, they actually had the caller on the phone and they would call you and say, hey, we have XYZ on the phone. This is what they want. Are you able to take the call? And of course, we was like, yes, of course, send them out my way. Yeah, but I think it was just still more of an intake call and they were probably shopping. It could go either way.
Yeah, I think these are more of the getting the information so that caring.com from the potential so that caring.com can qualify them before they send them on to you or whichever service is doing this. And that way, at least some human has talked to the person, and they know it's a viable lead. I think
Yeah.
that's it's not it's not a warm transfer. It's definitely, here's the information we have, call them back right away.
Yeah.
I think Place for Mom, they do have, it's called hot transfer.
Hot transfer, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a couple people in my sales training class that are new owners for agencies and just got a couple hot transfers and were able to turn them into clients. So it could be beneficial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
It was a beta testing still when we started
back
it, but yeah, and it seemed okay.
How do you set yourself apart from competitors in a saturated market? And I think that saturated or not, you have to do this. And it's all different things that you're doing. You must have a strong differentiator in this marketplace and home care to stand out. And you can do it with leave behinds too. If you're the only one doing the leave behinds, that helps you stand out. But the strong differentiator is going to be really important in a market where most agencies offer the same core services. What sets you apart from the others? So you really do need to spend some time, and whatever that strong differentiator is, it needs to be on your website, it needs to be on your social media or LinkedIn, it needs to be in your leave behind, it needs to be everywhere so that they see you as that home care agency. Offer a signature package. A discharge to home recovery package is a really great way. And that's when you're working with skilled nursing facilities. You call it a discharge package, but you could even go to assisted living and tell them while your residents are coming home from a hospital or skilled nursing facility, we can help out. You probably need more help at that point than assisted living might be able to provide. Be a local expert, not just a provider. Host lunch and learns on educational topics. Build emotional credibility through storytelling, share stories of caregivers and client testimonials, offer superior client and family experience, good communication, transparency, responsiveness, build strong referral relationships, build relationships with key partners, become their go-to agency by showing reliability in speed and good communication. You do need to think about what your differentiator is, and sometimes you have a nurse on staff. Sometimes you focus a lot on Alzheimer's care. There's lots of different things that you can do that sets your agency apart. Anything to add? No? All right.
I think just being present, being
being
sure
there.
that they know who you are and where you are, all in all channels, everywhere you can, in person.
Even just the fact that you respond and you're super communicative can be enough to have you make a differentiator. Because
Right.
when Annette and I were interviewing social workers across the country, their biggest complaint was home care agencies just don't get back to me. I send them a referral, I never hear back from them, which I can't even imagine, but that's what their biggest complaint was. And then they don't know what to do. Do I give it to somebody else, or are they working? Like, they heard nothing back. So
that's so terrible. It doesn't even sound correct.
like, I can't imagine anybody doing that, because that's what all the work's gone into, the website, the paying for lead, like all the things you've done. You're waiting for that phone to ring, and it finally rings, and then we don't respond. I just can't imagine, but that was their biggest complaint. So
I
Valerie.
feel like that has to, oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it feels like that has to be like a, have you updated our contact information type of thing, because we're just like standing, we're waiting for those.
I know,
And
I always was,
so
couldn't wait for
so
that phone to ring.
yeah. Sorry.
So I just want to say it's 2:40 my time, and I'm gonna have to go at there. Is there any online questions I could maybe quickly answer before I have to run out of here?
Oh,
I'll look through the questions
look through
really
the chat.
fast.
I don't
Okay.
see any.
In the chat.
Yeah, I don't.
There's a branding question at the very beginning.
Yeah, there was a branding question, Valerie. Why don't you take that one? Because I was going to ask you to do that one.
Yeah, Gina asks, if you're starting an agency, what's the minimum branding activity you would conduct? The couple of things that come to mind, there's a whole lot that goes into branding. We're going to do a 3-hour presentation on it. Mission, vision, values, all of those things go into your branding. And there's just so much that needs to be considered. However, if you're talking about colors, logo, services, name of your company, if I were starting a home care agency from scratch, first of all, okay. If it's going to be local only, regionally, you have no aspirations of expanding, then I would make sure my name of my business had a regional flair. Or like a lot of people in Massachusetts on the North Shore say, I know there's a company called North Shore Home Care, or something that resonates with the local community. If I know this is pretty much it for me, I'm not going to be a national brand in the next 10 years. And you can always rebrand. Anyway, so that's one thing. The other thing is consider your name versus your website address. People jump on buying website addresses that are never going to serve them well. So you want to make sure, if you can, when you buy a website address to go with your home care agency, that it has the words home care in it, but it's also fairly short, so that you're not having to write out approved senior network marketing.com. Like we're approved senior network.com, but it's just keep it short and simple. Try to get a keyword in there. Consider your region that you're serving. Colors, I want to say we had another home care agency that we worked with that did it, that paid $10,000 for a branding consultation or whatever, which I don't think is necessary, but then again, it's not exactly my forte. They went with a lot of blue, deep blues, and blue and green colors, deep green colors. And then I think they added in some pastels as needed, but very true colors, very trustworthy colors tend to be those blues and greens. And you see a lot of home care websites like that. So anyway, that's my biggest thing about branding. And logo wise, don't hire somebody from Fiverr to do your logo. Have somebody professional do your logo, and keep all the files they send you. That's one thing we find, is that people forget 10 years later where all the files are for their logo they originally had. So make sure you keep all of that somewhere safe.
Valerie, there's another quick one. I'm currently doing short form videos. Should I explore some long form videos as well?
Absolutely. If you can do a 15-minute, 20-minute video and then chop it up into smaller bite-sized pieces, that would be great. And there's lots of software online that will do that for you. We use Descript. So every time we do a long form video like these, we let Descript chop it up into shorter, digestible pieces. And we just keep with the same branding. And so we have lots of different quotes from different ones of us. And so, yes, I would say throw in a long form, because if you do a long form and then you chop it up into little bite-sized pieces, then you have a bunch of content for the next couple months. You don't have to continuously do long form all the time, but it does help. Definitely.
Okay. How do you start services with a new client quickly and efficiently? You need to be able to balance speed with professionalism. So it's not just about getting a caregiver in the door or a warm body, right? We used to say, don't just throw a warm body in there. It's about launching a well-matched, well-supported care experience. And so you earn that trust from day one. So you can streamline your intake process, have an intake coordinator or someone from the team ready to respond to inquiries within minutes, not hours. I would go so far as every inquiry should be answered live. There should be no reason that someone who's calling about services goes to voicemail, or so-and-so will call you right back. Try to find a way to transfer that call live to someone that can take the call, because again, all of what you're doing is to get that phone ringing, and when it rings, it needs to be answered live. So streamlining that could be big. And the person who might go out and do the signing, if that's the person you transfer that call to live, they can get some of the assessment done while they're on the phone even, so that they can tell the scheduling team, hey, this is coming. I'm headed over there now. This is what they're going to need. I'll give you more detail when I get there. Please start looking for a caregiver. That way things are moving while you're in the assessment. Conduct a timely in-facility, in-home or virtual assessment. If somebody is in a skilled nursing facility and they're going to be discharging, you should always do the assessment in the skilled nursing facility before they go home. Care should be set in place before they leave. That also gives you time to look for a caregiver. Finalize paperwork electronically. I've never really left an assessment without having a signed agreement. I don't like to leave an agreement sitting there because I just feel like nothing's going to happen. So if you can do it electronically in those situations, that's even better. If you can just sit there and tell them, hey, here's the link. I still try to get them signed before I leave. Sometimes the signer is just not available. So electronic signing fixes that. It helps with that. Having lead caregivers or on-call caregivers ready to go. We used to have lead caregivers. We paid them, we're going to pay you 15 hours a week, whether you work it or not. And they were ready. They would handle call-offs, they would go do fill-ins, and then they would be that caregiver that would start services. I'm going a little quick because we're getting close on time already. Match the right caregiver fast. So try to have those caregivers. There is software in your scheduling software. There are ways to match caregivers to clients. Use all that technology that you can. And launching services within a day to 3 is good. You should be able to do that. I would say within 48 hours, very latest is what we tried to do if it was a quick. And it seems that the social workers are going to test you. Oh, I've got someone discharging tonight. Can you start? Sometimes you get this test.
Yes.
You keep saying you can do this. Let's see you do. And so being able to do that sometimes can get you some of the good. You don't, of course, want to always be the emergency company, but if you come through for them, sometimes their home care agency falls through, but they were going to use. And if you can be that person and save the day, they're going to trust you and use you in the future. How can I attract high quality caregivers in a competitive labor market? Competitive wages, bonus, PTO, perks, offer flexible schedules that fit their lives. Free training goes a long way. Recognize them, make them feel that they really long to be a part of something bigger. They want to be a part of the community. So if you talk about your office in that way and that our caregivers come in, we have all the caregivers in quarterly for training or for a party or whatever the case may be, letting them know that you're really taking care of your caregivers, and there's monthly rewards and shout outs and things like that. Fast, friendly hiring, apply in minutes, start as soon as possible. If you can keep them from having to jump through all these hoops to just have an interview, that can be very helpful. I never made them fill out an application until they came to orientation. I would ask all the questions over the phone in a phone interview, all the things that I needed to know if I wanted to hire this person. And then when they came in for training, they weren't hired until they got through training, but when they came in for training, that's when they would fill out the application. Anything you can do to make it easy for them to apply, that'll be good. The other thing I found that's very effective is to have something lined up for them, a client when they leave, before they leave training. So even if it's just a fill-in, giving them some kind of work. You went through training, here's your client. It may not be all the hours they want right away, but it's something. They feel like they didn't waste their day. Win referrals, so bonuses for both the caregiver and the person that referred them. Target social media ads, show off the team and the benefits of working for your company all over social media. Hire on the spot events. You can do job fairs with instant offers. Video testimonials from current caregivers, real stories, real connections. They love that. I think that goes a really long way. Boy, Lisa, I don't know if we're gonna have time for your leave. I'm trying to get through these as fast as possible. How do you handle difficult families or clients who aren't a good fit? So I would say being very transparent and really, when you're on that assessment, really watching and looking, like Lisa said, at everything. If it smells like a cat box somewhere, ask them. Do you have cats? Like caregivers, some of them won't come into a home if there's cats. They don't want to be around the cats, or they're allergic to cats. If there's something that doesn't feel right or sit right, ask about it, because it's only going to get worse if you start services. I used to think when I'm in the group, oh, they won't notice that, or I'm probably just overthinking. No. The caregiver would come in and start, and exactly what I thought could happen happened. And that is so much worse than trying to get on the front end of it. So define as a company what is not a good fit for your agency. Decide what that is ahead of time. That way everybody's on the same page. That's going to be really important. There's verbal abuse, disrespect of caregivers, unsanitary conditions. You need to decide as a company so that when the person goes out to sign the job, they know this is a no. There's no way we're doing this one, right? And that nobody's going to be upset with them, or they don't go and sign something that nobody wants to do. That's the other side of it. So address issues early on with a calm, direct communication. I've also let things fester through my 20 years, thinking, oh, it'll resolve itself, or that caregiver is just being too sensitive. No, address issues early on. Set clear boundaries. Know when to exit and how to do it professionally, and protect your caregivers and the agency culture. Those are all going to be really important. And we've all dealt with those clients that, I don't know, they just expect red carpet service and they're not nice. They say nasty things, and you have to, some of them, it's hard when there's dementia involved. That makes it a little bit more difficult because they're not really aware of what they're doing. But you do need to protect the agency culture, because they'll get on there and on Google and talk about how you let this client treat them horrible. So just take care of those things right on the front end. Okay, do we have questions in our little
We do. One, I'm going back here. I took them down and put them in a Word doc just in case. Okay, first one. How can we determine if a potential referral source is already referring exclusively to another company, and if they're taking bribes, and if we should engage in that to get the referrals?
So we'd never engage in bribes. I'm not sure if that's what you're saying, first of all, because that's going to always backfire. And if a company is doing that, it's going to backfire. So you don't have to worry. Eventually they're going to get caught. It's going to backfire, and they will never be allowed in the building again. They might even get reported to the ombudsman or something in your state. I would never participate in that. I do ask, are you using any other agencies right now? Or who's your favorite agency? Or are you having any issues with the agencies that you're using right now? Tell me what they are. So I'm transparent about that. I want to know if they're using someone else and why. What is it that you like about them? Something like that. So I think that's a fair question to ask.
Yeah, definitely. Can you share a menu of services service price listing? Sorry, I read it wrong. Can you share a menu of services and then give prices? And then grocery shopping for us falls in the basic service range. I feel like this was almost replying to one of the slides, but we missed it while we were going.
Okay. So basically for us, we just had price ranges, and pricing was less if you had more hours. Not a lot less, but we had price ranges. And so it might be from 30 to 34 an hour. And I would always give a range over the phone. And they say, how much will it be? I need to assess to let you know, but it'll be between 30 and 34. I always gave a range because I don't want to say 34 and my competitor told them 32, or my competitor gave them a range. So the range is really a good idea. And it included all the services always, unless there was another person we were caring for. I don't know, Annette and Lisa, anything to add?
It's best to go and do the assessment. Sorry, Annette. It's best to go in
I
and
was
do
gonna
the
say, I agree
assessment.
with everything you just said.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there you go. For
Yeah.
sake of time, yes, agreed.
Yes.
Okay.
And two more questions actually. Oh, how do I gain access to leave behinds and the flyers to edit in the forum? And we also will send a replay to you after the Zoom. So look for that. And also you can go to the forum, which I think we'll
And the
mention here.
you get the slide deck. So the links to the leave behinds are in the slide deck. Lisa will show you that here in a minute.
Yes. And then Lauren, who asked the question, you are in my new sales training class tomorrow. So I'll go over all that with you tomorrow.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Good.
Documents. When it comes to a spouse signing an agreement for their wife who has dementia, do we need POA docs for the husband to sign on her behalf to hire our care services?
I've had POA sign. I've never gotten the documentation that they're actually the POA. I guess maybe you should. I've never done that and I've never had it backfire, but I have had them sign. One thing that I did one time was person who seemed completely lucid to me signed the agreement. And then the family is like, she has dementia. She can't sign for herself. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. She seemed totally, she was in a SNF discharging. People are a little loopy anyway. She definitely didn't seem like she had. So anyway, met with the daughter. She signed the agreement and it all worked out. But I've never actually asked for the POA. You probably should.
Yeah.
I guess that would make more sense, but I've never had it backfire either. That's been my experience.
Same with me. We really didn't. I just took their word for it and let them sign it. We weren't like lawyers.
Either way, that person who signed it is responsible to pay. So you're
Right.
whether the POA or not, they're putting their name on the line.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing to have that exact paperwork though. I think that, and probably as home care changes, that may be something that you want to have just in case. But yeah, I know that we did maybe have a few of those here and there where we had the paperwork, but like you guys, it's not really required or it wasn't at the time. Yeah. And then I think one question, what's considered a bribe? I think that's like monetary. I think it's money pretty much.
Yeah.
Money,
Like
kickbacks.
offering money.
Yeah, things like
or
that.
Louis Vuitton. I've heard in California, Louis
Right.
Vuitton purses, taking them to get pedicures, like big stuff, and you really should not be doing that.
And I just put red hot candy for Trey and he'll just get that. It's an inside joke. He has a gatekeeper that wants red hot candy. That's not a bribe.
Oh, that's a little different.
Yeah, that's different. That's a little leave behind. How much do you pay on call caregivers? Is it a flat fee? And then I think that's the last.
So we paid them a little bit more hourly because they were always a CNA. Because they needed to be able to pop into any situation and be able to handle it. They need to be able to do transfers and Hoyer lifts and all the things. So we paid them at our top. And again, our pay was always at a range as well. And I always did that with the caregivers, would give them a range. And it wasn't based on their skill set necessarily, it was based on the client that they were serving. And so they always got the top pay. And it wasn't always CNA pay either, because they're not doing medical duties for when they're in a non-medical home care agency. And so that can be a little touchy, but we paid them at the top of the range.
Okay, if there's anyone else.
Can I follow up on that? I was actually the questioner.
Yeah.
So if there's no call, let's say for the week, do you pay your on-call caregivers? How much? I think that was more.
So we agreed, they all were at different things, but we had some at 15 hours a week, some were at 20, some were at 30. And so the deal was, you're going to get paid your 15 hours, whether you work or not. You're going to get paid, but you have to be available between this time and this time on these days. And that doesn't mean, oh, I have to go drop my daughter off at my mom's. That's not how this works. You're available. And I can tell you, they always got paid and they always worked. They never didn't. There was always a call off or something to send them to.
Thank you.
So that's how, you're welcome. All right, is that it?
That's all of the questions. We have 2 minutes.
Okay. We might go over a little bit. We do though, guys, we do have some home care marketing and sales training openings still. The classes are same time, same day of the week for 1 hour. These are the classes that are open right now. We have some availability, I think, in all of them. Yes, Annette?
Yes,
There's
we
still
do.
some openings. So if you want more information about that, you can click here for the slide deck when you get it. And so we will keep going. Here is our July Leave Behind winner, Trey.
Yay.
He did a great job. It's cool to care. He's got his ice pops here. They're not supposed to be frozen. You did a great job. These look really good. Thank you for sharing this with us.
He's actually been getting lots of referrals, and he says everybody